What is up, bookworms and constant readers? Welcome back to the channel. I finally got back into reading for fun. And if you've seen the title, you know what this video is about. We are finally getting to part 3 of The Way of Kings by Brandon Sanderson. It has been 2 months, I guess, maybe longer, since I did a video on this book. Yes, I'm still reading it. That last little bit of schooling really put a hold on this book, but I didn't forget what had happened in the story, so I just picked it up, read part 3. I'm into part 4 now. The next video will be the last video because part 4 ends on like page 9, like 960 something, 970, and the book is only like 1,001 pages long, so I'm just gonna do part 4 and 5 as one video and close it out. If you're new to the Stormlight videos, let me start out by saying this is not a review video. This is just what I think about what is going on in the book. I broke it up into parts because it is so long. If I was trying to do one long video about this book, I would forget to talk about a lot of stuff because a lot of stuff happens. But if you're looking for a Way of Kings video review, I can just tell you, go out and buy it. If you don't know, this is going to be a 10-book series from Brandon Sanderson. There's 4 books out right now. I have never read anything by Brandon Sanderson. This is the first book of his that I have read. This is book 1 of the Stormlight Archives. Go buy them all. That's what I recommend, because if the next 3 are as good as this one, they're totally worth it. I really don't have anything bad to say about this book, so yeah, it is definitely a must-buy, must-read, especially if you like fantasy. So, with that being said, there will be spoilers in this video. If you have not read the book, do not watch this video. Go read the book and then watch my The Way of Kings videos. Leave comments. Tell me what you think. I think the book is fantastic. But yeah, let's get into it. So, part 3, it starts on page... The actual reading starts on page 455, but 453 is the title page for it. And just like on all the title pages, the names listed below are the stories that are going to be covered, the people that are going to be covered. This whole part dealt with Kaladin and Shallan. Again, if I'm pronouncing these names wrong, let me know in the comments. I'm horrible at pronouncing fantasy names. But I think it's Shallan and Kaladin. So a lot happens in this part of the book. I think it's way more about Kaladin than it is Shallan. And honestly, Kaladin is the better story. And I think the book could have been shortened by a good 400-500 pages at least if they would have left that part out. I think like the Dalinar parts and what's going on there, and the Kaladin parts, they fit together, and I think they should have been in this book. And I feel like the Shallan parts, they should have had their own book, and maybe another story that relates to her story more, because you read Dalinar's parts about being a shard bearer and his visions and everything that he's having during these high storms, and the stuff going on with the king and everything. It really kind of fits into Kaladin's story of he used to be a soldier, and then in this part you learn a lot more about Kaladin, and eventually you learn about his betrayal, which I'll talk about in a minute. But I don't feel like the Shallan and the Jasnah parts, they just, I don't know, they don't fit in this book, and they don't hold my interest like the Kaladin parts do. They keep you reading because you want to know like how this is all going to turn out, and really in this part it does kind of come to an end. I don't know if there's going to be more of her in the rest of the book, but it really is kind of like the nail in the coffin for Shallan on this part 3. So she still is trying to devise a way to steal the Fabril, the soul caster, from her mentor, her teacher, Jasnah, I think is how you say her name. And she does steal it. And then after she steals it, she's trying to figure out how to use it, and she can't figure it out. It's not working. She is looking in the library for books and stuff to find anything on, how do I use this magical device, because it does nothing for her. And she is like falling in love with this religious guy, and he's not supposed to fall in love, but he tells her, I'll leave this religious order for you. And she's got all this stuff that is just piling up. Like her brothers are constantly hassling her, we need this device, you have to steal it, you have to get it back to us. And she's starting to have second thoughts, because she really enjoys all the learning and all the things that she's learning about, and the whole academic side. But in the end, she ends up stealing the device anyway. And the guy that she was falling in love with, his name, I forget now. If you know it, put it in the comments below. You find out that he has been leading her on all along, and he's trying to find out Jasnah's secrets and what she is doing. And he's been feeding Shallan poison bread, poison crackers, and the antidote is this jam that he always brings. And he's tried and tried and tried to get Jasnah to eat it, and she won't touch it. She's not interested. And everything like backfires on him towards the end of part 3, when Jasnah is in the hospital visiting Shallan, because she had like this mental like vision and like breakdown, and she believes that she turned a pitcher of water in her room to blood, and she didn't know how to hide this from anyone because they were right outside the door. So she takes a piece of the pitcher had fallen off and blood was all over the floor. And she didn't know how to explain this, so she cut herself with the broken glass. And they think that now she's suicidal, and Joshna is being too hard on her. Her teachings are too rigorous, and she tried to kill herself, which she didn't, but nobody knows that. And she still has the stolen device on her. She keeps it in the safe pouch in her safe hand. Nobody will ever check there. It's like a big like no to look in somebody else's safe pouch. So this guy comes to visit her, and the three of them are in this little hospital setting, like hospital room, and the bread is poisoned, and the jam didn't work, and he collapses, and then she starts getting like violently sick, and Joshna's gonna use her Fabril to save Shallan's life, and Shallan is like, the one you have is broken, it doesn't work anymore. And so right before she like passes out, she undoes her safe pouch and it falls out. Everybody like knows, what is up, that she stole it. And she wakes up, she doesn't know what's going on, like everybody's ignoring her. Joshna comes in and tells her, basically, you're done, I want nothing to do with you, you're going back home. Nice job messing up your future. Nobody else is ever going to take you in or teach you anything. Kind of way to go. And that's really like the end of her story in part 3. Now, I don't know if we're going to see like what happens when she goes back home. What are the consequences now of going back home and everybody finding out that her father's dead? She's got these men that evidently gave her father the magical device and they want it back, but it's broken now. So I am curious to see where that story goes, but nothing holds a candle to the Kaladin story. That's where this book really shines, and you learn like so much in part 3 about his life and what happened and how he became a slave. And Kaladin is just like this major just badass, and he's beating himself up because he blames himself for his brother's death. He didn't uphold a promise to watch over him. The overseer of the town basically made his brother go into the army as punishment on Kaladin's family. And Kaladin gave up being a surgeon and everything and volunteered to go into the army and watch after his brother. And his brother ended up getting killed. And he's protecting his captain in this battle. And the Shardbearer shows up and is just killing everybody. Just decimating everybody. And Kaladin runs in to fight this Shardbearer. And everybody, that witnesses this thinks that, it's pure suicide because the Shardbearer is about ready to kill this captain. And Kaladin, as he's fighting this person, he realizes that the shard plate has a weakness, and the visor has these little slits, and he realizes, if I can get, through those slits, I can kill this shard bearer. And in the end, he does, and everybody is like astonished. And so when you kill a shard bearer, you're supposed to take their shard blade and their shard plate, and like you go through this whole transformation. Your eyes turn from dark, like Kaladin had, to this light blue, and Kaladin doesn't claim any of this stuff because he doesn't want to become these people that he fights for. And he regrets not doing it later on because his men that are left are brought into this private room, and they're all killed in front of Kaladin. He can do nothing about it. The captain brands Kaladin's forehead with the mark of a slave and takes the shard blade and shard plate for himself, saying that nobody can be left alive because it'll get around that everybody knows he didn't earn his shard plate and shard blade. And nobody is going to believe the story of a slave. So because of you, I have this, and because of that, I'm not going to kill you. But you're going to live the rest of your life as a slave. And Kaladin later on, he kind of regrets, not taking it, because now he's in the situation that he's in. He does some really stupid shit trying to protect the bridgemen, and ends up getting a lot of soldiers killed, so he's punished. He's put out in a high storm. He actually survives that, and then you learn that there's something special about Kaladin. They really haven't hit on it. So I'm wondering where this is going to go. But one of the bridgemen who's taking care of Kaladin learns that if he puts the money that they use in Kaladin's hand and closes his hand, Kaladin draws the light out of it and it heals him. And this is very reminiscent of during the interludes in the beginning of the story. You learn about this assassin who kind of did the same thing. And so I'm wondering, are they related? What is up with the connection between these two? Is there even a connection at all? There's a lot of unanswered questions. So part 3 is it's really exciting. It moves the story forward a lot. And now with part 4, he's covering quite a few people in part 4. He's got let me see here, Dalinar, Kaladin, Adolin, and Navani. And so far, part 4 is pretty good. You're learning a little bit more about the Knights Radiant. They really still haven't explained all that and what happened. But yeah, part 3 so far is my favorite part of this book. It'll probably be a few weeks. I think there's 300 or 400 pages to go to finish the book. I'm on page, let me see here, 742. chapter 53. So I don't have much left to go. Like I've said in past videos, I read about an hour to 2 hours a day. That's, I don't know how many pages a day, but it'll probably be a couple weeks before my next video to get through this, and then we will move on to other books. If you are interested in Brandon Sanderson's The Stormlight Archives, definitely pick up The Way of Kings. It is a very cool read. I think there's no other way to do these books justice than to do them in parts. Some of you may not like that because you haven't read it. But honestly, I don't know how else to do it. If you have any other suggestions, you can comment below. But I am thinking I will do part 2, part 3, part 4, the same type of format. Because these books only get longer. But they are a fantastic read. Totally enjoy it. It does make me want to check out more of Brandon Sanderson's books. But yeah, that's really all I have for this video. That's what happened in part 3. I think it was an awesome part. A lot happened. And like I said, I do think the Shallan parts, they could have been saved for a different book. I don't think they fit in this book. What do you think? It seems like people I talk to online and stuff, they love Kaladin. Kaladin is their favorite character. He's definitely mine so far. But that's all I got for you today. Till next time, read more books.